The winning blueprint presents.
Draft Zone.
Welcome to the Draft Zone. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. This is the NFL draft game with the Philadelphia Eagles. Really here to dissect the Philadelphia Eagles in their first round selection. Number 4 overall in the 2013 draft. We're going to take a look back at the history of the Philadelphia Eagles drafting in the first round. We're going to start at the 2000 season and come all the way up to the present and look at what the Eagles were able to do in the first round. Try to use that in conjunction with the year 2000 up until now's number 4 overall selections in the draft. Grade both of them out. We'll use a baseball scale in rating each player that was drafted number 4 overall and each player drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles from the span of 2000 to 2012. You either hit a single, double, triple, or home run with every player drafted. And so we'll use those projections to kind of help figure out what the Eagles will do with their draft pick at number 4. Again, you can't use the past to predict the future. However, let's have a little bit of fun before we actually delve into these drafts and give a mock for each team in the league. Let's have a little bit of fun, shall we? So, Philadelphia Eagles and their draft game. So we look at the number 4 overall pick in the NFL draft and what it's been since 2000 till now. And we start in 2000 with Peter Warrick. Peter Warrick, man, was he supposed to be special or what coming out of Florida State? Just never really materialized in the league. He's a single. Nothing more, nothing less. So you look at 2001, Justin Smith. He was really solid in Cincinnati, but quiet because he played in Cincinnati. Got to San Francisco, started to make a lot of noise. Hence, Justin Smith is a triple. Had a really good career to this point. And I'd venture to say that if he were healthy last year, maybe they win the Super Bowl. Who knows? Mike Williams in 2002. Not Mike Williams, the receiver. Mike Williams, the offensive tackle for the Buffalo Bills out of Texas. Yeah, that Mike Williams. Oh, you don't know who I'm talking about? Makes perfectly good sense because he did nothing in his career. That's a strikeout right there. So we move on to 2003. Dwayne Robertson. Solid, nothing great. Had a long career, but never really made an impact in the league. Single for Dwayne Robertson out of Kentucky. You look at 2004, Phillip Rivers, the old Eli Manning, Phillip Rivers switcheroo. Well, Phillip Rivers has been a triple to this point. You look at his numbers, and they scream triple. But you look at his play, especially the last couple of seasons, and you're thinking to yourself, maybe he's a double. But I give Phillip Rivers the benefit of the doubt. There's not as much talent as it once was in San Diego. He's doing a lot with what he has, which isn't much. Offensive line hasn't been the best in the last couple of years, and so neither has the running game, and Phillip Rivers has still made the best of what he's had. Phillip Rivers is a triple in this league. You look at Cedric Benson. Man, this would have been a strikeout 4 years ago. But he came back. He resurrected his career, played really well with the Cincinnati Bengals. Hence, Cedric Benson is a double. You look at DeBrickashaw Ferguson. He's played really well throughout his career with the New York Jets. Here's a guy that they could count on. Ever since they drafted him along with Nick Mangold, these guys have really been solid pieces on that New York Jets offensive line. So you look at Gaines Adams. May he rest in peace. Career cut short by an irregular heart. And no one really knew that his heart was enlarged. Girlfriend came to the house. He was non-responsive. Went to the hospital. Did not make it. He passed away. Career never really got a chance to take off. Played in Tampa Bay. Was just traded to the Chicago Bears. Never set foot on the field for the Chicago Bears. Gaines Adams, a single in the National Football League. You look at Darren McFadden. This is an intriguing one because I could catch a lot of flack for this. Maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But I just feel like he's a single. The injuries haven't allowed him to be what he is supposed to be in this league. He catches the ball really well out of the backfield. When on the field, he's very productive. But he's only really had one really good season. And that was 2010. So I really don't know what to make of Darren McFadden. I give him a single. Look at Aaron Curry, linebacker, out of Wake Forest, drafted by the Seattle Seahawks, wasted pick. Has done absolutely nothing in the league. Went to Oakland, thought he was going to have a shot at revitalizing his career. Didn't work. Aaron Curry is an absolute strike three. Out! Strikeout. So you look at the next guy up, Trent Williams in 2010. Double. He's played really well of late, making his first Pro Bowl in the 2012 season. I really like the way that Trent Williams has been playing over the last 2 or 3 seasons. It's a double for Trent Williams. He's ascending. Who knows, in a year or two, he might be a triple, but right now, he is a double. You look at 2011's number 4 selection, A.J. Green. Adriel Jeremiah Green is an absolute no-doubter home run. This guy has come in and taken the league by storm. And it's only been 2 seasons, but man, have those 2 seasons been extremely productive or what? It's a no-doubter. It's a tape shot measure home run for Adriel Jeremiah Green in 2011. That number 4 pick was well spent by the Cincinnati Bengals. You look at 2012's number 4 selection, Matt Khalil, tackle out of USC, drafted by the Minnesota Vikings. Again, another really good selection. This is a triple. And in a year or two, maybe this is a home run pick as well. But he played extremely well in his rookie campaign. Was a huge reason why Adrian Peterson was able to eclipse 2,000 yards. And so Matt Khalil comes in at a triple in the 2012 draft at the number 4 selection. So you tally all of those grades up, and it averages out to a single, barely. It was close to being a double, but it's a single. And so looking at the number 4 position, not a lot of home runs. I only see 1 home run in that group. A lot of triples. So there are some really good names there, but there are a lot of ones, a lot of singles. And if you're the Eagles, you can't afford to draft a single or strike out with the number 4 pick. Let's look at the Eagles draft history since 2000. Corey Simon in 2000, drafted by the Eagles. Solid career. Really don't have any real problems with Corey Simon's career. It's a double. Thought he was solid for the Eagles throughout his career. Didn't do anything earth-shattering, but he was just solid. And sometimes that's good enough for me. Double for Corey Simon. Freddie Mitchell. Fred X. Man, was this guy a hype machine or what? That never panned out in the league. But I will tell you one thing, that he did leave the NFL. And it's been a staple in the league ever since he's been in the league. And I tell you what, for him to have not done anything of note, I take that back. He did one thing. That was the catch against the Green Bay Packers in the playoffs. 4th and 26, I believe. Packers fans, Eagles fans alike remember that play all too well. But he did lead the NFL with one gift. And for that, if no other reason, he deserves a single. The championship belt. Aaron Rodgers is using it, and he's milking it and getting endorsements from it. But it started with Freddie Mitchell, FredX. Championship belt. You get a single for that, my friend. You look at 2002. Lito Shepherd. Solid corner. He really played well for you guys. I remember the days of Lito Shepherd on one side, Sheldon Brown on the other. Tough to throw on the Eagles in those days. Solid. And when you're solid, it's a double for Lito Shepherd in 2002. You look at Jerome McDougal. Ugh. Injuries, gunshots, yikes. It all adds up to outside corner strike 3. Strikeout for Jerome McDougal. Wasted pick by the Eagles. Never panned out or amounted to anything. So we move on to 2004 where you drafted Shawn Andrews, the big husky guard. He played well. And at his peak, he was an all-pro, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time all-pro. He was a solid pick by the Eagles. Really played well at the height of his career. Double for Shawn Andrews. Solid career. Mike Patterson, defensive tackle. Single. What more do you want me to say? He's a single. Never really done anything in this league to warrant anything other than a single. Solid single, but a single nonetheless. Broderick Bunkley. He's a single as well. Another guy on the defensive line at defensive tackle. The Eagles seem to have a laundry list full of defensive tackles who are just okay. Nothing special. Not going to knock your doors off. Not going to make any extraordinary plays. Just lunch pail, hard hat defensive tackles. Here's another one in Broderick Bunkley. You draft a guy in the first round, you expect more than just a hard hat and lunch pail mentality. You expect a guy to go out and make plays. He nor Mike Patterson did any of that, so each of them are singles. You look at 2007, no pick in the first round. That was traded away to the Cowboys. You look at 2008, no pick. That was traded away to the Carolina Panthers. So no activity in 2007 nor 2008 in the first round for the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at 2009. We get back to business. Jeremy Maclin is your selection in the first round. A compliment to Deshaun Jackson. Good pick. He hasn't eclipsed 1,000 yards in his career yet, but he's never been below 700. And so you're getting a guy that's extremely efficient and solid. I like Jeremy Maclin a lot. He's been really good in the league so far. It's a double for Jeremy Maclin. This thing could ascend in the next 3 or 4 seasons. We'll see. But as of right now, Jeremy Maclin is a double. You look at Brandon Graham in 2010. Hasn't been what you've wanted him to be. He got you 5.5 sacks last season, but wasn't really impressed with Brandon Graham to this point. Injuries have really set him back in the league, and so we'll see what he's able to do in the next coming years. Maybe this switch to a 3-4 defense helps Brandon Graham out tremendously. Maybe it doesn't. We'll see. But either way, he's a single right now. It's Brandon Graham. You look at 2011, Danny Watkins. After the fiasco last year of him being benched for a guy that was essentially a walk-on off the street, I want to strike Danny Watkins out. But it's too early to be striking anyone out. We're talking about 2011, so essentially 2 years of service in the league. Too early to be striking someone out. I'll give Danny Watkins the benefit of the doubt. Give him a single. He has to tighten up, though. This could be a strikeout here in the next 2 or 3 seasons. You look at your 2012 selection, Fletcher Cox. Impressive rookie campaign, I might say. 5.5 sacks, And he only started 9 games, only played in 15, which means he's going to get better. 5.5 sacks in limited duty, that's pretty impressive. That's a double in my book. At the defensive tackle position, 5.5 sacks, that's golden. If you can get that out of your D tackles, you'll take it all day long. Fletcher Cox came in, showed the athleticism that the Eagles thought they were getting when they drafted him out of Mississippi State. Fletcher Cox, a double for the Philadelphia Eagles in the 2012 draft. So you tally all of those numbers up for the Philadelphia Eagles in their first round history since 2000, and it equals out to a single, and barely. Those 2 seasons of no first round picks, they hurt. You also factor in a strikeout on the part of Jerome McDougal. Those all hurt. A lot of singles, not enough triples and home runs. As a matter of fact, there was no home runs in this group. And so if you're the Eagles, it's a new regime. All of those picks that I just talked about were made under the Andy Reid administration. This is a new start, fresh. What is there any better smell than fresh? Starting over, it's all new. So why not get a home run at number 4? Now, we don't know what it's going to be. I'm not a fan of the Eagles selecting Geno Smith at 4. But it could really happen. I don't know what Chip Kelly has in mind, but he's already got Dennis Dixon. He's already got Michael Vick. E.J. Manuel sounds more like a quarterback that would fit in a Chip Kelly scheme more so than a Geno Smith. Don't get me wrong, Geno Smith is athletic enough to run a Chip Kelly ran offense, but he's reluctant to run. E.J. Manuel is not. And so I just feel like you'd be better served drafting E.J. Manuel in the 2nd round than using the number 4 overall selection on Geno Smith. If Deion Jordan is there at 4, it's a no-brainer. You take Deion Jordan and you keep it moving. But in the event that he's not, and I don't see how Deion Jordan gets to the Eagles at 4, you got to take a defensive tackle, I think. Star Lotulelei seems like the most optimal pick at 4. And if you're the Eagles, I think he, of all the defensive tackles in this draft, maybe Sheldon Richardson, have the most upside, have the most ability to come in and knock it out of the park. So if I'm the Eagles at 4, I think this pick needs to be Star Lotulelei. We'll see what the Eagles decide to do. If it's Geno Smith, I don't know how I would feel about that. I don't know if I'm disappointed if I'm an Eagles fan or if I'm excited. I know I'm not excited about Dennis Dixon. So from that standpoint, if it's Geno Smith, anything that keeps Dennis Dixon from starting for my football team makes me excited. But you can draft E.J. Manuel and have him stop Dennis Dixon from starting on your football team. So we'll see what the Eagles decide to do. But history says that you're supposed to hit a single at this position. Eagles draft history says it's a single from 2000 to 2012. The number 4 selection overall since 2000 says it's supposed to be a single. If you're the Eagles, this can't be a single. Has to be at minimum a double. And a guy like Star Lotulelei can get you at least a double. I'm thinking this guy's a triple, if not a homer. But we'll see. But if you're the Eagles, Geno Smith is either a double or a strikeout. Nowhere in between. And I don't like my odds there. If I'm the Eagles, at 4, you got to get value. Think defensive tackle. Think Star Lotulelei. And that's going to do it for the Philadelphia Eagles in the draft game.